Breaking news tonight, tens of thousands fleeing their homes as wildfires burn out of control out west. Flames ripping through communities, at least 700 homes and buildings destroyed. Cars burned out, neighborhoods burned off the map. This homeowner filming the inferno, torching his house. The race right now to stop the flames. The first reported death just announced in the lettuce-linked outbreak. So is it still spreading? And does it go beyond lettuce? What you need to know. Seaplane crash rescue, new video from inside the cabin. Nearly a dozen on board as it slammed into a dock. How everyone got out alive. The major move from Todd Blanche to clear a hurdle towards his nomination, and why President Trump is slamming the U.S. Attorney in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, for dropping that reflecting pool case. Spotted today at the White House. Is her job safe? Tragedy on the front lines, helicopters colliding midair as historic fires burn through Europe. What a doctor first to the crash scene says he saw. Chaotic pier pursuit, a driver barreling down a popular Los Angeles pier, families scrambling for safety. What happened next? And the warning about hotel Wi-Fi, why Microsoft says hackers are trying to steal your information, what you can do to protect yourself. Top story starts right now. And good evening. As we come on the air, western wildfires are raging out of control. Tens of thousands forced to leave their homes. And these are the apocalyptic scenes in Spokane, Washington. Home after home fully engulfed in flames. Nearly 70,000 people right now under evacuation orders. With the fire still 0% contained at this hour. Drone video shows the scope of the damage. Neighborhoods charred beyond recognition with only the outlines of the foundations remaining. In a moment, we'll talk to a mother of 6 about the moment she discovered her family's home was destroyed. We're also tracking strong storms racing across the East Coast, cars driving through floodwaters in New Jersey, and this intersection completely submerged. In Queens, New York, powerful winds and rain bringing this huge tree crashing down and smashing a car beneath it. These nasty East Coast storms creating a travel nightmare. More than 8,000 flights delayed or canceled in the U.S. today. We've got it all covered tonight. Our Bill Cairns, you know him, of course. He's standing by, monitoring the conditions out west. We begin tonight with Morgan Chesky. He is live from the fire zone there in Spokane. And Morgan, officials there are saying this is the worst wildfire the state has ever seen.
Yeah, Tom, those were the words out of the mayor of Spokane's mouth earlier today. And when you glance through this one neighborhood, you see the reason why. It is hard to believe, Tom, that authorities only had 2 or 3 hours to help more than 50,000 people evacuate to safety before flames came in and just charred everything in their path. And this is all happening during one of the worst wildfire seasons in decades.
Tonight in eastern Washington, out-of-control wildfires forcing the evacuation of 65,000 people.
The whole block's gone, dude.
3 separate fires burning towards the city of Spokane, destroying more than 700 structures, burning cars to a crisp, and turning houses like this one into little more than ash and rubble. The county sheriff sharing some people are still unaccounted for.
It's 14 reports of people who were calling for evacuations, and we haven't been able to find them.
The smoke was very intense. Shouldn't have been back here, but I had to see my house.
Ken Anderson capturing this video of his own neighborhood going up in flames.
That's our house.
He and his wife Lisa coming back today to see their home of 27 years gone.
It was the first time I'd seen it since it burned.
What made this one different?
It was the tremendous wind that came with it. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
With roadblocks and mandatory evacuations still in effect, few are able to see the damage firsthand.
Just had to stop by my buddy's house to see if there's anything left, and there's not.
Many making the same discovery.
This is really apocalyptic and pretty scary.
Across the West, dozens of wildfires are burning, including in Utah and Oregon, where conditions spawned a rare fire NATO with a twister of swirling flames and superheated air caught on video. Back in Spokane, images from above showing the devastation for those on the ground.
It seems like it's a nightmare that we're just going to wake up from, and it's all going to be okay, but I don't think it's going to be okay.
Morgan joins us once again there from Spokane. Morgan, it's going to be weeks before people can return to what's left from their homes.
Yeah, Tom, the reality is the mayor says she does not know when people are going to be back in these hard-hit neighborhoods. And I want to show you one of the reasons why. You can see those smoldering embers beneath the ashes of that home. That just runs an incredibly high risk for a potential reignition. And that is why authorities are being so incredibly cautious right now, with an abundance of dry fuel and potential gusty winds in the forecast for at least the rest of this week. Tom?
Morgan Chesky leading us off here on Top Story. Joining us now live is Molly Roots. She's a mother of 6 who lost her Spokane home in the wildfires this weekend. Molly, we thank you for joining us. I understand you're holding up.
Yeah, we're doing surprisingly well. We're surrounded by a wonderful community and family, and people have just been pouring out love and support to us.
Take us back to the moment you had to evacuate your home. How quickly did you need to make that decision?
We were at a volleyball tournament watching our daughter play volleyball. And so we came home, and when we got home, the police were already there going door to door. And he said, "You guys need to leave now. Your next door neighbor's house just burned down." And so we had minutes. We grabbed a few things. My daughter put her stuff in a trash bag, and we got in our van and drove with all the other dozens and dozens of people trying to leave the neighborhood.
In that type of situation, when you have literally a minute, 2 minutes to grab things, what did you guys grab?
We have a file with all of our passports, with our birth certificates, with just the wedding, our marriage license, all the stuff that you need. And so we grabbed that, our computer bags, and our toothbrushes.
We, I think, have some images that you and your daughter have posted of your neighborhood and where your home once stood. When did you realize that the fires had come to your doorstep? Was it that call? Had you been monitoring the news?
Yeah, we were mostly looking on, Facebook videos, trying to get, real-time shots of people's cell phones, what was actually happening. It was very hard to get information. We were using an app to track the fire, and we saw that our home was in the fire perimeter. And so at that point, my husband said it would be a miracle if our home is still standing. And, we were awake most of the night, just kind of watching and checking. And then early the next morning, my neighbor sent me a photograph of our home from the driveway vantage point with our basketball hoop standing there. And so that was all that was left. And so at that moment, we realized that indeed our house was gone along with everybody else's in the neighborhood.
Have you ever seen a wildfire of this magnitude? We're hearing it's the worst ever in the state's history. And does your family have insurance to cover what happened here? Because sometimes insurance policies can be strange during natural disasters.
Yeah, when you live in the inland Northwest, wildfires and forest fires are a part of our summer. And so we are accustomed to hearing about them. Sometimes it makes us, a little bit maybe not quite as alarmed as we could be when it comes time to, look for a fire because they're happening so much. And so last summer, we also evacuated. It turned out to be nothing. The fire died down. And this Saturday, it was the opposite. The winds just carried the fire at a magnificent rate. And so, yeah, we're working with our homeowners insurance. We've never been through this before. So they put us up in a hotel. So we're kind of spread out here, and our immediate needs are taken care of. And so hopefully everything will pay out as it should. And we just don't really know what the future holds as far as rebuilding or buying, what that's going to look like.
Yeah, Molly, we hope you're going to be okay. We saw some video just now that our director rolled, and it looked like, I don't know if this was your neighborhood, but you can see the flames sort of surrounding homes there, and even some embers burning in front of what looked like maybe a flower bed. Was this your neighborhood? And when you saw this, what did you think?
I was just zooming in, trying to see the details, looking for outlines of cars. I was trying to find, if that was our street sign, just looking for some personal indication of that being our home. And at that point in time, like, everything looks like your house. So we were just, hoping for the best, preparing for the worst.
Our meteorologist, Bill Cairns, has pointed this out, and we've covered so many wildfires in the last decade, I would say, here at NBC News. Something that is unusual about this one, if there's anything positive to take away from this, any silver lining, is that it sounds so far like there have been not many or any deaths at all in this wildfire. What do you attribute that to?
Our community is, we're a family of faith. We pray, we believe in God's protection. Even though something really difficult happened, we believe that he's an ever-present help in times of trouble. And I believe he had mercy on our community. He loves Spokane. And, the firemen, everyone did an excellent job of getting us out of there. Nobody tried to, very few people tried to stay behind and be the hero. We really followed the people who are trained to take care of our neighborhoods and our city. So that's what I attribute to, no deaths or really any injuries.
Molly Roots will be thinking about you. We'll be continuing to cover your community and the rest of Spokane and what happens with these wildfires. We thank you for your time during this very stressful period. I want to get right to meteorologist Bill Cairns right now. Bill, wildfires still raging out of control out west. Walk us through the conditions right now.
Yeah, today it was better. We didn't have the high gusty winds that we had in that horrific situation, but the smoke is left behind. And if you know anything about the Pacific Northwest, this is the Cascade Mountains. That's actually protecting areas like Seattle and Portland from getting all the smoke. But the smoke is just bumping up against the mountains. And look at Wenatchee, 240. That's very unhealthy air. Same with Yakima. So these areas are still lingering from the effects of this huge big fire that we dealt with. And we still have had problems further to the south, too. Areas like Denver have had bad air quality all day long. Many areas through Wyoming, too. And as far as the smoke goes in the fires, we're waiting for that peak of our fire season. Right now, we're up to 102 large, uncontained wildfires in the lower 48. But notice how many of them are in the Pacific Northwest, almost half. We only have 5 in California. We have 33 in Oregon. And Washington, about 16. So that's where all the worst of the smoke is coming off of. The winds will be light tomorrow in most of the areas of the West, the exception being there portions of Utah, maybe a little bit there in Colorado. But look at the huge smoke plume from all those fires that are in the Pacific Northwest. It is just going to be blowing across the country. Of course, it's going to be in the Pacific Northwest, but we're going to watch the smoke by the time we get to the middle of the week from Chicago to St. Louis, even the portions of Oklahoma. You'll notice at sunrise and sunset, kind of that orange glow in the sky. And of course, it doesn't help that we still have this really hot weather in many areas of the West. We're going to get a little break for the firefighters from Colorado, Utah, and the Pacific Northwest, but it's not going to last. It's going to be like a 1 or 2 day little break, and then the heat comes right back, roaring back in some cases, easily into the hundreds in areas of the mountains of California, Nevada, even up into Spokane. We're going to be in the mid-90s. We're going to have windy conditions once again. So, Tom, as we go throughout, the middle of this week to the end of the week, all of our fire concerns are going to come right back because there's no rain in the forecast. It's only a matter of how hard the wind blows. It's how scary it'll get.
Terrible conditions for those folks out west. Okay, we'll stay on top of it. Bill, we thank you. Now to that major update on the lettuce-linked outbreak sickening thousands across the country. Tonight, health officials say at least 2 people have died in Michigan. It's the first reported deaths tied to that stomach illness. Our Ann Thompson has some more details.
In Michigan, where cyclospora cases now top 11,000, for the first time, the state says 2 people are dead after getting the severe stomach illness that sickened Americans this summer. State officials report both people had significant underlying health conditions that may have been impacted by cyclosporiasis and dehydration. The FDA adding both individuals got sick before Taylor Farms' voluntary recall of iceberg lettuce grown in Mexico July 17th. Dying from cyclosporiasis is rare, say medical experts.
Who is most at risk here?
Most at risk are people at the extremes of age, the very old, the very young, and people with chronic underlying medical conditions.
Tonight, federal health officials report cases in 45 states, and they are investigating 6 clusters. The biggest involving Taylor Farms iceberg lettuce sold at Taco Bell restaurants in 9 states. Both Taylor Farms and Taco Bell say they stopped using that lettuce last month. While the number of cases continues to grow, the pace, at least in Michigan, is slowing. But in North Carolina, food detectives are looking beyond lettuce. Officials there say recent cases reported eating parsley and cilantro.
Okay, let's pick it up there. Ann Thompson joins us now. Do people now need to be worried about parsley and cilantro?
If you live in North Carolina, and the advice from officials there is either remove it or cook it. They say while they don't have a source identified, those 2 herbs have been commonly reported by the people who've gotten sick, and there have been some 700 of them. Much of the advice is on a state-by-state basis. Michigan, you'll remember, is still advising people not to eat bagged salad, as officials trace back the origin of this parasite that is very hard to find, because I don't know about you, Tom, I can't remember what I had for lunch, let alone what I ate 2 weeks, and it takes 2 weeks for this illness to show itself. So it's really hard for health officials to trace it back.
It feels like, and tell me if this is too much here, but it feels like we're still in the middle of it, that this is far from over.
I think so. Michigan officials say it might be peaking in their state. The cases aren't coming as quickly as they did. They think there was a backlog once people identified it that came forward.
Slowing a little bit.
But it's in 45 states. That's extraordinary.
Yeah. Okay, Ann Thompson first. Ann, we'll stay on top of it. Thank you. To Washington now, where there might be a new attorney general very soon. It comes after a reversal from 2 Republican senator holdouts who now say they will back President Trump's nominee, Todd Blanche. Gabe Gutierrez explains what happened.
Tonight, acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination is back on track after he agreed to the demands of 2 key Republican holdouts. Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis both said today they'd now support him.
I'm glad we were able to solve the problem.
Following Blanche issuing an order that he says officially rescinds that controversial anti-weaponization fund. Nearly $2 billion taxpayer dollars for people who argued they were unfairly targeted by the Biden Justice Department.
These people were treated horribly, and this fund could have given them some solace.
Despite the concession, the president today downplaying any backtracking.
I didn't look at it. All I know is that Todd Blanche is great.
He's also slamming a close ally for another concession.
I guess she choked.
The president now says U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro made a mistake by dropping charges against a former Olympic canoeist indicted for vandalizing renovations at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Pirro acknowledging new evidence shows the damage was the result of a botched installation and not vandalism.
I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro, really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella, and people get away with things, and it's a disgrace.
Okay, with that, Gabe Gutierrez joins us from the White House. Gabe, do we know if Pirro could soon be out of a job?
Well, Tom, right now, that is the major question. She was just seen leaving the White House for a meeting here following the president's remarks. But you heard the president's comments right there, that she folded like an umbrella, that she choked. An incredible public rebuke for a longtime ally. She has known the president for decades. She, of course, is a former Fox News host. And right now, tonight, so far, she has not commented on the president's remarks. So it still remains an open question whether he may end up firing her or not. Again, she was spotted here at the White House late today after those remarkable remarks from President Trump.
Okay, Gabe Gutierrez, some new reporting there tonight for Top Story. We thank you. We're going to stay in Washington. President Trump today saying Iran is in talks with the U.S. for what he's calling their last chance to make a nuclear deal. But Iran claims they're not engaged at all. Keir Simmons is tracking it from Doha.
Tonight, President Trump insisting the threat of a massive U.S. strike has Iran back at the negotiating table.
They called me, and they said, please don't attack. We'll make a deal.
The price of oil plunging on the news, despite continued Iranian attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz through the weekend. Iran previously broke a ceasefire it signed in June, saying it would not attack those ships. But now the president saying the vital shipping lane could be open as soon as tomorrow.
We're talking about the strait, the opening of the strait, having it open literally by tomorrow, completely open. And that's phase one, the denuclearization of Iran. Has to happen. And that'll be the second phase.
Iran is denying any talks with the US are happening, all as President Trump pulls back from massive strikes he said would involve Israel. Tonight, he is warning Iran again to make a deal, calling this their last chance.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
Keir is live for us near the Strait of Hormuz and joins us tonight. So, Keir, what is Iran saying?
Iran is saying tonight, Tom, that it is negotiating over the Strait of Hormuz, but only with Oman, that country in this region that also sits alongside that vital shipping lane. President Trump says that that is an indication that the leadership of Iran are, quote, unbelievably duplicitous. So, Tom, talks are happening, but not direct talks between the U.S. and Iran.
And then, Keir, we've been seeing that stunning video out of Russia. I want to shift gears here a little bit to talk about another war. Russia accusing Ukraine of killing children in a drone strike. We're showing this video now to our viewers. The social media clip shows what appears to be a drone or remnants of a drone crashing into a crowded beach. What do we know about what happened here?
Yeah, that drone hit that beach, as you can see. Horrifying images. 7 people killed, according to Russian authorities. 3 children. The governor of Krasnodar, which is where that beach is, the region where that beach is, accusing Ukraine of deliberately targeting civilians. It's worth noting, Tom, that, of course, Russians have been able to travel outside of the country less. Many of them have wanted to travel outside of the country less since the war with Ukraine began. And so those kinds of beaches at this type of time of year are really packed. Whether Ukraine was deliberately targeting that beach or trying to target, for example, a military facility nearby, the reality is this is an example of civilians killed in Russia as a result of Ukraine's actions. And it's interesting, isn't it, to note that if you think back to, for example, the Biden administration, that was the time when Washington was very worried about Ukraine targeting inside of Russia. Now Ukraine is hitting targets, military, and also, for example, Russia's equivalent of Amazon across that country of Russia. Ukraine's aim is to try to demoralize the Russian people, to try to persuade the Kremlin to back down. The question is whether that will work. I will tell you, Tom, the time I've spent in Russia, I don't see that much sign of the Russian people being demoralized, tired perhaps, frustrated, but these kinds of campaigns can have an impact on a civilian population that makes them rally to the flag, that makes them more nationalistic, Tom.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if this is a new chapter in this ongoing brutal war. Keir, we thank you for what you're doing there. Still ahead tonight, inside the cabin as a seaplane crashes, what new video shows and the nearby boaters who help rescue everyone on board. It's incredible video, plus the man being credited with saving lives after that deadly mass shooting at an In-N-Out. And the deadly midair collision overseas, 2 firefighting helicopters, look at this, crashing while trying to battle those wildfires in Europe. What went wrong? Stay with us. We're back now with that new video of the moment a seaplane went down in the Bahamas. 10 Americans were on board when it crashed into a dock while trying to take off. Nearby boaters then jumped in to help. Our George Solis with that video and some big interviews.
Tonight, new video of a harrowing seaplane crash in the Caribbean. 10 Americans on board a plane that slammed into a dock in the Bahamas as it was trying to take off.
How do we get out?
In this video, recorded by passenger Eloidis Cantillo, the moment the plane makes impact. It was very disarming, he said. Thank goodness I was wearing my seatbelt. It was very horrible. You can hear the desperation from passengers as alarms blare. Bahamian police say the Cessna was attempting to take off Saturday morning when the plane ran into boat traffic, leading the pilot to change course.
Right place, right time, right people, and the rest was in God's hands.
Nick Pavlakis was there on his boat dealership's customer getaway and among the Good Samaritans that raced into action to save lives. Today, taking us on board the vessel used in the rescue.
Where are the people boarding once they have the opportunity to get to safety?
So some people boarded from the very bow of the boat. Some people boarded back here.
Dramatic images show the plane's wing fully submerged as it began to sink. And this moment as it fully flips upside down.
I pull up to the plane and it's a sound I'll never forget, of the glug, glug, glug. And I said, guys, this plane's going down. We got to get everybody off.
10 souls on board.
That's right.
All saved.
All saved.
George Solis joins us now live from Jupiter. So, George, have we heard from the company that runs the seaplane?
Yeah, we have, Tom. The company that runs that seaplane, Tropic Ocean Airways, telling NBC News in a statement, the safety of our passengers and crew is always a top priority, and we are grateful everyone is safe. We should note that this investigation is ongoing, and again, remarkably, nobody injured in this collision. Tom?
Okay, George Solis for us. And warm tropical waters are where you would typically find tiger sharks, but two brothers just caught one off the coast of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. The rare catch comes amid an uptick in shark sightings at some East Coast beaches. Griffin Gonzalez from our NBC station in Boston has this one.
You can see that is 100% tiger shark.
So we're starting to see them more consistently, not that common.
I'm on the coast of Cape Cod right now.
Two brothers in Falmouth making one of the rarest catches on the Cape, a tiger shark.
I saw those horizontal lines that indicate that it's a tiger shark.
It's not our first time catching a tiger shark. It's definitely our first time in Cape Cod.
The brothers catching the moment on video.
Here's a warm water southern species being caught on, Cape Cod beaches, which is A, really cool, B, a little scary.
The tiger shark is a species that wouldn't usually be found off the Cape, but these waters have seen them more recently.
And that's why we're seeing these tiger sharks, because the water's warming up. The food was here.
John Chisholm works with the New England Aquarium and has been tracking shark sightings across New England this season. He says social media is a big reason we hear about more of these sightings.
People all have access to foreign that has visual and direct connection to social media. So, when people get these sharks, they post it.
Where does this rank on fishing stories you would tell?
This one hits close to home in our backyard, catching another tiger. So definitely number one.
All right, thanks to Griffin Gonzalez for that one. Still to come tonight, the new warning from Microsoft sounding the alarm about hackers targeting hotel Wi-Fi networks, what you can do to protect yourself. Plus the blockbuster weekend at the box office as Spider-Man swings into the record books. We are back now with new details on the deadly mass shooting at an In-N-Out in Idaho. Dana Griffin has more on the quick action two people took that likely saved so many lives.
Tonight, this man is being credited throughout Idaho for trying to stop a gunman armed with an AR-style rifle who opened fire Saturday afternoon outside this Twin Falls In-N-Out. Everybody's running. Sending people running for their lives. An off-duty trooper and the man seen here confronting the shooter in the drive-thru now being praised for their bravery.
We believe their actions helped drive the suspect away from the scene, preventing further casualties.
Pretty crazy. He was standing up there and without hardly any cover for quite a bit of it.
3 people were killed, including Ashley Garibay and Christopher Clonch, according to their families. A Clonch family spokesperson calling him a big giver with a huge heart. In-N-Out's owner adding, he took the precious lives of our associate and customers, innocent people who never saw it coming. 7 others were injured, including taxi driver Terry Dudley, shot while charging his car in a nearby parking lot.
It's a miracle that Terry's alive. The man was definitely aiming to take his life.
His son Michael sharing an update on his father's condition.
He's in pretty rough shape, but, it's to be expected. But they're doing everything they can.
Police say the 24-year-old suspect died from a self-inflicted wound.
Dana Griffin joins us tonight from Twin Falls, Idaho. Dana, we're also learning about the victims of this attack.
Yeah, Tom. So out of the 7 who were injured, 5 remain hospitalized. 2 are listed in critical condition. And I just want to point out something that we noticed earlier today here at that Twin Falls In-N-Out behind me. There were people inside. They appear to be a cleaning crew, but there's no word on when this restaurant will reopen. Tom?
Okay, Dana Griffin. Dana, thank you for that. Now to new escalations in a family feud on Capitol Hill. Senator Bernie Moreno calling for his former son-in-law, Representative Max Miller, to step down from Congress after allegations he domestically abused his ex-wife, Moreno's daughter. President Trump weighed in on the accusations earlier. Here's that moment.
Well, it's a very sad thing. I know Max. He's a good person. I always thought he was a very good person. And I'm going to let the families figure that out.
Kelly O'Donnell is reporting on this and joins us now. So, Kelly, get our viewers up to speed. What are the allegations Miller is facing, and does he still have the support of the Republican Party?
Well, this is one of those painful circumstances where there are deep divides within a family, and this has been going on for a couple of years. Max Miller is a 37-year-old Republican. He is seeking his third term in Congress, and his former wife, who is the daughter of U.S. Senator Bernie Moreno, has made allegations through police reports, in court documents. They had a short marriage, a couple of years, and it's been a couple of years of trying to go through the process of custody agreements for their toddler daughter and that kind of thing. What she has alleged is that her ex-husband has been, in different instances, responsible for domestic abuse, scalding her with hot water, holding a gun to her head. She has raised the allegation that he may have been responsible for their daughter's broken clavicle, collarbone, and that perhaps while the child was in his care, that could have happened. He has not been charged with any crime. He denies all of this. And he put out a live stream video that went point by point through all of the issues. And he is denying that he has been responsible for any abuse of his ex-wife or their daughter. And he vows to stay in the race and keep going. The other part that makes this so complicated is Max Miller had worked in the Trump White House in the first administration. So when the president speaks of him, he does actually know this person. He's from a prominent Ohio family. And of course, this is one of those seats in the House, Ohio 7, that is leaning Republican, according to the people tracking where the voter base really is right now, at a time when the House is really up for grabs, and Democrats are looking for opportunities and see this as potentially one. So his former father-in-law, the U.S. senator, has said Max Miller should step down, resign from office. He came out publicly to talk about the heartache that he called pure hell for their family. Some of our colleagues on Capitol Hill caught up with Bernie Moreno today. He did not want to engage on this. And at this point, the president is saying it's up to the families. Now, if the president were to weigh in more forcefully here, perhaps Miller would make a different decision. They've got a couple of days if they were to try to replace him on the ballot for the November election. It is not looking likely at this point. He's saying he's in it and he's going to win in November. But it's also coming at a time, Tom, when these sorts of allegations can be disqualifying and can change the course of a given race at any time. He's up against a Democrat who is an iron worker on the ballot, Brian Poindexter. We'll see what happens here, but this is at first and at its core a deeply sad family situation where there have been allegations and certainly a small child is involved. Again, Miller says he is innocent of these allegations. The family says it's been a very difficult period and that Miller needs some counseling and care. So we will keep tracking this as the political ramifications may continue to fall over the next few days. Tom?
Okay, Kelly O'Donnell, yeah, those allegations are quite vicious. We'll stay on top of this one. We're also tracking a developing headline out of the FBI. Federal prosecutors charging an FBI supervisor, accusing him of transferring almost $1 million in crypto to himself from a, quote, adversarial nation. All of that according to a new filing that our Ryan Riley has been reading through. So, Ryan, the suspect admitting to a lot of this grift himself?
Yeah, that's right. And, two sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News that the country in question here was Russia, and that was sort of the adversarial nation that they are focused on. And it seemed as though he was able to sort of get away with this for a while on his own, and that he actually sort of, in the end, confessed it to a Justice Department colleague and sort of self-reported in the end here. And the fact that this wasn't sort of caught through the processes is sort of a little bit surprising that this, given just the background, and there's this other ongoing case that described a lot of headlines involving a CIA officer who had all of these gold bars stolen. So this notion that someone was able to take almost $1 million in crypto, albeit from a foreign nation rather than taxpayers, without getting sort of caught, is quite remarkable here. And this is someone who's doing very important work for the U.S. government, working in the intelligence agency. He was an FBI supervisor, but he was detailed to an unnamed intelligence agency at the point when this all took place, Tom.
How long did it take for the FBI to find this out?
Yeah, the way that this sort of came about seemed to be basically this all came about last week when this individual confessed it. He said something was weighing on him. He told colleagues that this had been something that he was really struggling, was grappling with. So sort of confessed this and gave them all of the information, gave them the sort of tokens, all of the information that they needed to track it. There was a search warrant then executed, but this was essentially a self-disclosure that he couldn't really hold in much anymore. Now, I reached out to his federal public defender. They said they had no comment at this time. There is going to be a detention hearing held tomorrow on this matter, and that would be interesting because when you have a situation where someone self-confesses, whether or not they're immediately released or whether they're held pending trial is going to be a big question. And then, of course, just fast-forwarding down the line, the so-called quote-unquote, victims here would be adversaries of the United States, right? So this is going to be one of those tricky cases that you can't really figure out how this is exactly going to end up in the end because he was someone who came forward and disclosed this, but also just because of who the quote-unquote victim would be in this case. It's a very unusual circumstance.
This is a strange one. All right, Ryan Riley for us. Interesting story. We thank you. Now to Top Stories news feed, we want to start in Cuba, where the national electric grid has collapsed again. According to state media, it happened as the government was working to restore the system following an outage, you may remember, across the island last night. The country's power grid has been under strain from aging infrastructure, mismanagement, fuel shortages, and this is the latest in a series of blackouts since the Trump administration effectively cut off Cuba's oil supply in January. And in Los Angeles, new video of a driver speeding down the Venice Beach pier. Look at this, sending people scrambling out of the way. Police say the woman hit a cyclist before leading them on a chase and crashing into multiple police vehicles. According to authorities, 2 officers were hurt while bringing her into custody. They say she will likely face assault and DUI charges. All right. And Spider-Man, the new king of the box office, the latest movie, Brand New Day, just raked in $360 million, making it the biggest domestic opening ever. The film raced past Avengers Endgame, released in 2019, which held the previous record. But it wasn't just Spidey filling the theaters. The combination with Christopher Nolan's blockbuster hit The Odyssey delivered a 1-2 punch that made this the biggest box office weekend in history. Now to a new hacking scheme targeting hotel Wi-Fi networks. Microsoft warning that a Russian-backed group is using fake software updates to fool victims into downloading malware, and those most at risk are people traveling for business. For more, I want to bring in our business and data correspondent, Brian Chung. Brian, this one really stood out to us because, we travel a lot for this job.
That's right.
Always in hotels or conferences, you log on to the hotel Wi-Fi, or maybe you're a guest, and then that's how they hack you?
Yeah, and look, this is going to be a big issue for anyone that often sees those Wi-Fi networks, and it's like, all right, free Wi-Fi here, that's great. And then you kind of click a few things and you end up in. But this is a Russian group that is exploiting that to hack into people's computers and even get company information. Basically, here's how it works. These hackers are able to target a specific Wi-Fi network, be it at a hotel or at a conference center, and then they poison the well so that anyone that connects to that Wi-Fi network might get a notification that says, hey, you have a software update. Maybe it's for your browser, maybe it's for your OS. These are fake notifications, and they're a way that they can Trojan horse or install malware onto your computer.
This is the way it looks here?
It looks like a regular Microsoft update, right? And this is something that Microsoft itself has disclosed in tandem with ReliaQuest. They were the ones that originally reported this last week. Once you download that fake update, it installs the malware onto your computer, and then they can access really serious things like your documents. They can get your login. They can get your cookies from your browsers. So this is a very, very serious type of hack that can get a lot of people.
So you have to have the Microsoft software to get hacked, essentially.
Yeah. Well, you have to have Microsoft in order for them to target you. And Microsoft says that they could be targeting other types of OSs like Androids as well. But again, this is a Russian hacking group that apparently has a lot of advanced
And is the group, tell us a little bit about the group, are they actually in the hotel or are they doing this all remotely?
Yeah, so they're doing this remotely. This is a Russian group, according to Microsoft. It's called Midnight Blizzard, the US and the UK.
Midnight Blizzard.
Midnight Blizzard. It's a kind of cool spy name, but this is a very serious threat that the US and the UK have both identified as serious cybersecurity threats. But Tom, it appears that they are targeting specifically business travelers. And I think the reason why is because, yes, they can get access to your computer through this hack, but once they get into your computer, what can they then access? Documents from your company. They can even perhaps use your credentials to hack into other people working at that company as well. It appears they're targeting governments, NGOs, those types of organizations, but anyone that connects to these types of Wi-Fi networks is really at risk.
Yeah, and then I know you have some tips because it's funny when you log on usually at the hotel. I know when I do, I just want to get on. Yeah. So I'm accepting everything. I'm saying yes, I'm clicking on everything just to get that Wi-Fi signal. What do people have to do now in this case? What should they be looking out for?
Yeah, and I know it adds a few extra steps here, but the general guidance is if you don't have to attach yourself to that public Wi-Fi, don't. If you're able to drop a mobile hotspot, if you're able to use what they call a MiFi spot, that would give you a lot of protection. Also, if you see any weird software updates that just kind of don't look right to you, avoid downloading it, especially if it's something that doesn't seem necessary. If you do absolutely have to update your computer, we all face these types of notifications. Make sure that it's coming officially from the OS, from the computer itself, or even from your company. And also use VPNs. Actually, you have some experts that are saying if your company, for example, provides you with a VPN protection on your work issue laptop, then that should provide you with a protection, especially if it's on all the time.
For the folks at home that don't know what VPNs are, just roughly what is it?
A VPN is basically a separate network that you would connect to that allows you to have an extra layer of security between you connecting to, let's say, a Wi-Fi network and the company documents and being connected to the internet.
A lot of companies do offer that.
That's right.
Again, just remind us, was this happening just in the U.S. or all over the world or everywhere pretty much?
Yeah, Microsoft says this was happening in the U.S. and Europe, but given that this is a Russian group, they could be targeting others as well. Again, Midnight Blizzard has had other types of hacks that have been identified by Microsoft and by other governments as well.
Okay, Brian Chung first. Brian, always great to see you. Thank you for that. Speaking about things happening around the world, it is time for Global Watch. We're going to start with a deadly midair crash in Greece. 2 helicopters battling those wildfires, colliding, killing 2 crew members. It's the latest tragedy as dangerous summer wildfires continue to tear across parts of Europe. Our Matt Bradley has more.
A fatal crash captured on camera. 2 firefighting helicopters in Greece colliding midair, setting off an explosion and sending one careening to the ground, killing the 2 crew members on board. The choppers have been working to help control a huge wildfire west of Athens. The Greek Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, expressing sorrow for the tragic accident, confirming a Greek coordinator and Danish pilot died. Government officials say the crew of the second helicopter survived. This doctor, responding to the crash, says they found the fuselage torn apart and burning. This tragedy coming in the midst of a uniquely powerful wildfire season across Europe. In France, forest fires sparked evacuations for nearly 250,000 people near Bordeaux. With tens of thousands of firefighters called out to help, authorities say while those fires are no longer expanding, they're still burning. We're on the 9th day of firefighting, this French commander says, but it feels like the end of the tunnel is in sight. Meanwhile, in Spain, authorities say fires there are mostly under control, though they're still fighting hard to keep them contained. The wave of European wildfires coming after a particularly wet winter, followed by a hot summer, which experts say likely created excess kindling to fuel the flames. Scientists say successive heat waves linked to climate change are causing droughts that raise the chances of wildfire disasters like this one.
All right, Matt Bradley joins Top Story tonight from London. So, Matt, fire season we know isn't over yet. Could the situation in Europe get even worse?
Yeah, Tom, and actually August is the hottest, driest month here in Europe, and so a lot of experts are predicting that things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Tom?
And when we come back after this short break, the father-son duo on a mission to play a simple game of catch each and every day, the milestone they just reached, braving rain, cold, and even snow. Stay with us. Finally tonight, a father and son from Twin Falls, Idaho, turning their love of baseball into a daily tradition, having a catch every single day for a year. And they just hit 365. Take a look.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Like a lot of fathers and sons, Reed McCashlin and his 10-year-old boy Colby love to throw a ball around. So last summer, they set out to play catch every single day for a whole year.
Day 28, day 130, day 293, day 350 of playing catch with my kids every day for a whole year.
Rain.
Hey, Colby, guess what? It's raining.
Shine. In the dark. And in the snow. Even getting creative with it when Reed had to travel. Colby's brother and sister often getting in on it too.
Oh, she got it!
Finally, the big day rolled around.
We actually made it to day 365.
1 full year of playing catch together.
There's only one way to celebrate this day. Want to go play catch?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
We've been using the same baseball every single day for the entire year, so we'll probably retire this one, pick out a nice brand new white one, and start playing again for another year.
Colby dreams of being a big leaguer someday and loves the practice. But mostly, he's just happy to be out there with his dad.
It's fun to spend time with him every single day. Life gets busy, schedules get crazy, but when we set aside those 5 to 10 to 15 minutes every single day to spend time with each other, it just gives us a chance to connect, gives me a chance to get to know my kids beyond the surface level things, and it gives me a chance to really build some memories with them.
All right, that does it for us. Thanks so much for watching Top Story. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.